Unreal Man here, Truth of the Manosphere, back at it again with another live stream. Okay, so let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about it. Ain't got too much time, so let's talk about it. Let's get right into it. If we've got enough time, we can talk about something else at the end, but let's get right into it, man. We're going to talk about this passport bro movement that has been on the internet, popularized by, I'm not going to say names, but this passport bro movement that has been on the internet now. And they are talking about expatting. I'm not even expatting, but traveling overseas to different countries, right? They're talking about, I'm going to different countries. Okay. And I'm seeing this stuff in my recommended. And I don't particularly like their content. I don't really have any interest in what they're producing. But, I do see it on the internet. And, I gotta say that I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm not a huge fan of what they represent. I think that, like I put in the title, it's mainly based off of lies and deception, man. It's not, the movement is not based upon telling the truth to the people. Like, I see these individuals talking about, oh, I'm living out here for $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. Not even 2,000, but $1,000 a month. Or I'm living like a king on $2,000 a month. And I mean, it's just a lie. The whole thing, what these guys are presenting, I mean, they lie about everything. They lie about what they were doing in the States, claiming that they all were making multiple six figures in the States, claiming that, I can live out here for $1,000. Well, first of all, if you're making multiple six figures in the States, why are you trying to make $1,000 overseas? Or why are you trying to live off $1,000 a month overseas, 1,500 a month overseas? That's one point. But they lie about their real reasons for coming there. They lie about everything in the country that they're in to make it appealing. See, these guys understand that YouTube is essentially, you're playing a gimmick, and to have a gimmick, you need a backstory, right? So they make up these backstories to basically sell you that there's some kind of high value man and they done this and they done that in the States. But the truth of it is that, they didn't do anything in the States. And most of these guys, overwhelming majority of them, are from the States. They're not from they're not from Europe. I mean, there's a few guys from Europe and other places, but they are overwhelmingly from the States. They're overwhelmingly from the States. And these guys, it's just like that one guy who was in Brazil, and he was talking about how great Brazil is and that it's so much better than America, and the opposite gender is so much better than America. Yet, when he got ran out of Brazil and he was publicized and put on the Brazilian media for basically, going out there and harassing people and saying that they're easy and this and that, he got ran out. And Brazil is a very violent country. So, he was on CNN Brazil or something like that. I mean, he left. He left the country, and then he started, they got feminists over there. But he never spoke about the feminist contingent there before. See, that's what these guys are doing. They're not telling you the truth about these countries. They're a bunch of frauds, man. These guys are a bunch of straight up and down frauds, liars. Oh, I did this. One guy said he was making 25 grand in the States, but he's opened up some restaurant, even some Colombians, some restaurants. He 1,000 or 2,000 bucks a month. You're lying to the people. They're always trying to sell you that it's so easy to go overseas. Yeah, it's easy to go overseas, but you ain't gonna stay out there. And it's getting more expensive to live out there. It's getting more expensive to live out there. These, I see guys saying that Thailand is expensive or Bangkok is getting expensive. I think that Bangkok is cheap as chips. It's cheap, but they see they're broke, so they say, "Oh, it's getting expensive." What you mean it's getting expensive? You ain't ready to expat, man. You ain't ready to live out there in these countries long term. You're so desperate to get out of America. Why haven't you done something in the States? Why you don't have online businesses in the States that you can live off in another country? Why are you e-begging on YouTube? One of these dudes, literally, he couldn't even afford a plane ticket back. He was on YouTube crying, e-begging, right? He was on YouTube crying and e-begging to get donations, to get a plane ticket back to the States from, I think, Dominican Republic. This is the kind of guys we're talking about, and they're giving people advice. What advice can you give somebody? You don't know shit. But this is the thing with these guys, they're not capable. They are simply incapable of doing something in their own country, in America. One of the easiest countries in the world to generate some wealth, and you can't do it over there. What makes you think you're going to do it in another country? You ain't going to do it nowhere. Because let's be honest, most of these guys are going out there to satisfy and indulge their fetish. It's just like that one loser, we've spoken about from Maidstone. We've spoken about this loser from Maidstone many times on this channel. And, the guy goes out to Japan and he, what has he established? The guy's been doing it for 10 years. What has he established? A dead YouTube channel? I mean, because he couldn't do nothing in the UK. He's one of them as well. He's a passport bro. He came before the name, but he's a passport bro. They're all passport bros. He's a passport bro as well. What has he established? What has he done in his life? He ain't done jack. These guys running away from the Western world, they don't even deserve to be living out there in these countries, man. Now you might say, well, I mean, if they got the cash, well, they got the cash temporarily. They don't have the cash permanently, man. Let me tell you that much. They don't have the cash permanently. They've only got the cash temporarily. Because let's face it. Let's face the facts. These guys, right, as these countries start to get more expensive, what's going to happen? As these countries start to get more expensive, okay, what's going to happen is these guys are going to be running back to the States with their tail between their legs. Just like that one guy who was from Ireland and he was living in Thailand, right? And he came back to Ireland and his wife had a job in the corporate world. And his wife is a Thai and she had a job in the corporate world, and he came back to his own country unemployed, right? That's the reality of these passport bro dudes, man. These dudes ain't successful men. Let me tell you something. These guys who are on YouTube trying to make a living on YouTube, they're doing that because they ain't got nothing else going for them. Why would I listen to somebody who's trying to make a living on YouTube, man? Like, why would I but most people ain't gonna be able to sustain themselves off of YouTube alone. I mean, these guys, they don't own no properties in the States. They don't have no online businesses. They don't have any remote work. They're just on YouTube begging for donations so that they can travel. And these are the guys giving advice. What advice can you give on expatriation? And notice how these guys, they always talk about, I'm living cheaply. I'm living on $1,000 a month, $1,500, $2,000. They always talk about that. Why do they talk about that? Because they're scraping by in these countries, but they lie and say that that's a good lifestyle. No, that's not a good lifestyle. That's nowhere near a luxury lifestyle, even in Latin America, even in Southeast Asia. Yeah, it's cheaper than the Western world, but it's not that cheap as what these guys are trying to sell it as. It's nowhere near as cheap as that. But they're lying, because obviously what they want is to promote people to go over to these countries. That's what they want. They want to promote to people, go over to these countries, right? So that they can keep selling this brand of Passport Bros, this fraudulent lie brand that they're selling. I'll go over to the Philippines. Just go over to the Philippines. The Philippines is not even that cheap. Yeah, it's cheap to live out there in the jungle. You know, that's the thing. You know, these guys are going out there to live in the jungle. You know, living with rats. They're not telling you the truth about the Philippines. Even that show that, you know that guy that got some fame, the guy with no neck, right, on that TV show. And he was with that Filipina girl, right? I've watched a few clips of it, and he's in the shower or something, and he's like, "What's that?" Right and the woman's like, "That's a rat," and she wasn't fazed by the rat, and he was panicking. But that's the thing, because they're living with rats out there in the Philippines. These guys living in the cheap parts of the Philippines, they're not telling you the truth. They're living with rats, bro. They're living in squalor. They're not telling you the truth about it. Yeah, the Philippines, you can live cheap there, but you're living in squalor, bro. They're not telling you the truth. You think these guys are living good in the Philippines on $800 a month? They're talking shit. You know, they're talking absolute shit. That's the thing. They say, what about living in Israel? Well, I mean, if you're a Jewish person, I mean, I don't know nothing about, but Israel, I mean, you know, I don't know how they treat other groups of people. That's the thing. But I don't know nothing about the cost of living out there. But back to the Philippines, these guys are living in squalor, man. I'm telling you, they're living in squalor. They're living with rats, rat infested. You know, they say, "Oh, the Filipinos are so nice." I've even had people on the YouTube say the Philippines ain't a third world country. I've had Filipinas beg me for money, you know, on Skype. You know, I've had Filipinas beg me for money on Skype. It's a third. The women are impoverished, bro. What other country on earth can a 19? That video got deleted now, but it was a 19-year-old with a 71-year-old man, and the guy is an average income dude in the States. This is an impoverished. The Philippines is an impoverished third world nation. Which, okay, if you want to live there, that's fine, but don't lie about the reality. Oh, it's not. It's developed, man. I've heard people say, yeah, it's developed in certain areas, but those areas you ain't living there on $1,000 a month. You spending $2.5 to $3 minimum in those areas where it's developed. They ain't telling you that. They ain't telling you that. That's the thing with these Passport Bros. They're all a bunch of liars. They're a bunch of frauds. You know, and there's no legitimacy to the movement. The movement was based upon a lie. The truth is that in these countries, you are viewed as a cash cow in these countries. Of course you're a cash cow in these countries because they're third world. Even Colombia is a poor country. Colombia is a poor country. Dominican Republic is a poor country. Thailand is, you know, certain areas are poor. You know, the Philippines is definitely, you know, and these guys are going to where? Medellin, Colombia. You know, Sosua, Dominican Republic. You know, Pattaya. What are these places known for? What are they known for? SEX tourism. That's what these places are known for. Notice how these are the spots that they go to. These are some sleazy individuals. They're sleazy guys, man. They're sleaze bags. They're not men of class, morals, dignity, pride, and honor. They don't have those traits, right? They're sleazy guys. All they want to do is live this life. I'm partying. You know, I'm going out there to these bars, and and they're bragging about doing this stuff. I'm like, what is there to brag about? I mean, you had this one guy called No Joke Howard, right? I don't normally mention names, but this guy is dead, right? He lived that lifestyle of drugs, alcohol. He went to Cambodia, right? Ended up dying, and he went to Cambodia. The guy was sleeping with trannies, right? And he ended up dying in Mexico of a drug overdose, so they say, which is believable because of the kind of guy that he was. But this is the reality, man. This is what these passport bros are promoting. These guys are the low class men. They're low class, they're low income. That's what they are. They're not even upper middle class men. They're low class, low income men going to other countries because they failed in the States. See, high income expats, they don't even associate with this movement. It's the exact same thing with MGTOW. MGTOW is another fraud as well. MGTOW is BS. A lot of these MGTOW guys have become passport bro as well, but MGTOW is another BS. Oh, I'm going my own way. But how you going your own way when you're not economically attractive, though? Like, let's be honest, that's like me saying I'm going my own way from Ferraris and Lamborghinis, but I can't even afford it, though. I mean, that doesn't make sense. I mean, let's be honest, MGTOW, for the most part, is bullshit. I mean, it's a lower class, it's not higher class men going MGTOW. I don't see higher class men associating with MGTOW. I see lower class men associating all these online groups, Red Pill, MGTOW, Passport Bro. They're all lower class, low income men. They're not men of dignity and low morals. I mean, as well, on top of that, they're not dignified men. They're not dignified men. I mean, let's face it. I mean, that's the reality. That's the reality. I personally don't believe that, you should be leaving the Western world. But see, if you're leaving the Western world, you're supposed to be leaving the Western world to live a top-end lifestyle, not to go to the Philippines and live with rats, which is what they're doing. I mean, if you're going for the lower class. All these guys, going out there, single mothers and all this bullshit. You're calling yourself, one guy called himself a Christian, but he's marrying a single mother. A single mother that weren't even married when she had a kid. So she was going against her own values and not her own values, but her own religion. And the guy died, and then he's going marrying a single mother. I mean, I see these guys. I mean, these guys, I mean, these guys in these groups, these online groups are a joke, an embarrassment, and a disgrace, man. I have no respect for the Passport Bro movement. None whatsoever. None. The Passport Bro movement is a movement that should not exist. These men do not deserve respect. And, I'm the kind of guy who I can see through the deception of these guys. Be honest about why you're going over there. You failed in the States. You failed to establish anything in the States. So you're now running away and trying to latch on to another culture and another country. And they're so complimentary about this country. Like, they're so complimentary about these countries that they're living in. Like, it's like they're trying to kiss the ass of the people in these countries. Like, these guys have no pride in themselves, man. Why are they doing that? Like, I don't give a shit about any country. I don't compliment no country. Because the way I look at it is that, every country is just going to look at you based upon how much money you got. That's how the country is going to treat you. Every country has that aspect to it where you got money in that country, you're going to be treated better. If you don't have money in that country, you're going to be treated quite poorly. That's the truth, and that's the reality, man. But I'm an honest guy. I'm an honest guy enough to tell you guys that if you think you're going to go out there to these countries without anything established, especially if you think you're going to go out there and start a business in a country where you don't know the language, where you don't even have a citizenship, that doesn't make any sense. You should be starting a business in your own country first before going out there. That's the right way to do things. I'm not desperate to go overseas. I'm not, because I put my future first over anything. I'm going overseas to live a life of luxury. I say I'm one plane ride away from a life of luxury. I'm not going overseas to pinch pennies. There's reasons to go to these countries. There's reasons to leave the Western world. But leaving the Western world to go to red light districts, leaving the Western world to go to Pattaya, go to Pattaya, man. These guys act as if Pattaya is such a great place. I mean, what's great about Pattaya? I mean, it's just cheap. It's a cheap, sleazy place. I mean, Pattaya is incredibly cheap, but it's a cheap, sleazy, low class. I mean, Pattaya is literally the low class from Thailand becoming hookers. That's basically what Pattaya is. It's the low class from Thailand that, they can't work out there. They can't find a job, so they're becoming hookers, man. And this is what these passport bros are promoting as the greatest place on the earth. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, these guys are a joke, man. Like, when you look at the passport bro movement, I mean, Winston Wu really started it off. To be honest with you, Winston Wu really was the guy who started off, but Winston Wu is not even a real expat. The guy is living in the States. Winston Wu has been talking about this shit for 20 years, and he talk about happier abroad, but the dude lives in the States. I don't know if it's full time, but if and that's the thing. A lot of these guys, they still live in the States. They can't even get out of the States permanently. So why are you talking about passport, bro? You're traveling to satisfy your fetish, man. That's why you're traveling, just like that loser from Maidstone. But anyways, enough about that. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next topic. Addressing the subscribers of this channel. The subscribers of this channel, the subscribers of this channel I have an issue with many members of this channel, many subscribers of this channel. I do have an issue because I feel like I've given you guys too much say in the channel by putting polls out there which are participated by trolls. Okay, I put polls out there where trolls are participating and manipulating the polls, and I've basically done content based upon those polls, which a lot of you guys don't participate in. I'm not getting the likes I deserve. I'm not getting the views I deserve. And at the end of the day, this is my channel. And I should do what I like on the channel, not what people think. The channel is too small for me to be really messing about with polls and all that. I'm going to stop doing them. I'm not going to poll you guys on what my next video should be. You know, I mean, I get more views on shorts and other stuff that's easy to create. I don't want to talk about the YouTube platform too much, but ultimately, if I keep, the channel will die, which, you know, I don't particularly, I'm not trying to make money on this or anything like that, but the channel will not go anywhere if I listen to subscribers who really are only thinking about the type of content that they want and not thinking about actually what's beneficial to the channel itself. And that's part of the problem. These live streams are not helping the channel at all. I mean, live streams are really for making money. I mean, getting donations and stuff like that and interacting with other members. I don't do that. I don't want to interact. I don't want to bring nobody onto my channel. I mean, I could bring a subscriber onto my channel if I know they're not a troll, but as far as collaborating with other YouTubers, you know, I don't want to collaborate with none of these YouTubers. I don't want to collaborate with none of them. I rather attack people. If I want to grow this channel, or at least attract more people, not grow it to make money, but I rather attack other people and bring the people who dislike those people over to my channel, as opposed to actually collaborating with anybody. I don't want to collaborate with people, but you guys, a lot of you guys are also frauds and liars, man. A lot of you guys don't really support the Unreal Man message, but you come over here and pretend that you do, and that is very low down and bad behavior. You're coming on here pretending that you support the Unreal Man when, let's be honest, you don't support the Unreal Man one bit. You don't support the Unreal Man, you don't respect the Unreal Man, but yet you keep coming on here. Why do you keep coming on here? Because you are a troll. But, you know, and I consider people who don't truly support the message of this channel to be trolls. I don't care if you don't insult me. I don't care if you don't write troll comments. I really don't care. If you don't support the message of this channel, to me, you're a troll. You know, if you vote in polls and put, if I put like, please specify, and you click please specify, and you don't write anything in the comment section, to me, you're a troll. You're trolling. You're messing about, and I'm not here to mess about, you know. But the truth is that I'm no longer here to help people. Let me say that again. I'm no longer here to help this audience. That doesn't mean that it will be like that forever, but there's too many people out there who do not want help, who've been here for years upon years, cannot present one thing that they've done in their life. And when I don't even say anyone's name, but I come out and say that you guys ain't done shit. For example, somebody insults me and gets defensive, which proves that they actually haven't. And my thing is that, why are you here on this channel just to watch? And this is not some talk show. You know, this is not Jerry Springer. I know the guy's dead, but that's not the point. I mean, this is not a talk show. This is not for you to just come here and talk bollocks all day. This channel was set up in 2020 for me to come and actually help you put an end to the suffering that you're in. That was what I set it up for back in 2012. You know, that's what I said. Sorry, I say 2012, 2020, not 2012, just before the pandemic. and the stuff that I was saying was true. And some of you guys have been here for 2 to 3 years, and I know that you ain't done nothing. Because if you did, you would have said it. Oh, I don't need to. And then they'll say, oh, I don't need to tell you. Bullshit. You ain't done nothing. Because somebody, when somebody self-improves, they change as a person as well. I'm not the same man I was in 2017, 18. I'm not the same man I was. You become a changed man. So for you can't fool me. You can't fool somebody who's come out of the stage. Most of you guys are still playing video games. I don't know about most of you guys, but a good chunk of you are still playing video games. A good chunk of you are watching bullshit Duma videos. A good chunk of you guys are watching this Andrew Tate, which is, let's be honest, Andrew Tate is entertainment. There's no real value in what he's saying. You guys are, just pretending. You're here to pretend. You're here to believe you're doing self-improvement. And to be honest with you, it's too late, man. AI is here. Universal basic income is coming. Jobs are going. You ain't got no career. You ain't got no skill set. You ain't got no hustle and grind in your mentality. You ain't got no ability to move overseas. You ain't got no assets. So let's be honest. It's already finished. I can't help. A lot of you guys, it's finished, man. Like let's be real. It's finished. I'm not here to help people anymore. What am I here for? I'm here to, number one, call out the people that are spreading lies, such as the Passport Bros and others. I'm here to, basically make these videos as a reminder to myself and share my views and opinions on certain topics. More of like a encyclopedia, or maybe that's not the right word, but as a record of my thoughts and opinions. That's why I'm gonna make these videos from now on. I'm not gonna help you guys because you guys ain't done shit. So why would I bother? I would have made more useful videos if I saw that guys were doing stuff. But if I know that you guys ain't doing nothing, then there's really no point. So let's just read these comments before I leave. I thought the Juice Cell guy improved. I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know about that guy, but that guy, I don't know about that guy, but to be honest with you. Most people want entertainment. Yeah, they want entertainment, man. They want to be entertained, but I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not Robbie Williams. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here because the Unreal Man is real. I've always been, here to tell people the real truth. I'm not a Passport Bro who's here to lie to people because those guys can't generate money with the truth. They can't generate money by telling the truth, so they have to lie. Just like the con men who sell fake courses. It's over for the majority of people, absolutely. 100%. Most people are finished, and that's why I'm changing the channel. So it's Unreal Man here, the Truth of Man's Fear. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, comment, subscribe. If you aren't already, make sure to hit that notification bell so you're informed every time I upload.